its little fans twirling. Your egg poo. Your egg poo.
Oh, yeah.
What are you? What?
Someday that'll go away.
Your egg poo?
Whenever the M1X, M2 Max come out. I don't know. They keep talking about the MacBook Pro and the Air again.
To just twist your legs.
I'm just going to hold it.
Okay. Okay.
I got a nice little perch.
What about the Mac?
Well,
Mac Tac? Mac Cheese?
So the rumors are
Oh my God.
that they're going to revamp the Mac Pro again.
Yeah.
MacBook Pro. Sorry.
Yeah.
MacBook Pro. But that just got the M1. As did the Air.
Well, no, you're talking about the rumors for a new 16-inch
Yeah.
MacBook Pro, which
Yes.
technically they're going to create, which makes sense that it's on a new level. Also, can I just say, if you have an eGPU that you use with your Mac, in my opinion, when they're on a Windows machine, they can be called eGPUs. They can be called extended graphics processing units. However,
External.
if it is attached to a Mac, I believe it should be called cheese.
Cheese?
Because you have a mac and cheese setup.
Shut up. That's stupid.
Stop.
That's dumb.
You
This is not the note we need to
love
start back on.
Stop it. None of our audience even knows what we're talking about. Hi, Mom. It's just our parents.
Anyway,
You know for a fact it's our parents.
yeah, mostly. So
You know.
my hope is that an M1X or an M2 Mac Mini would come out.
Mhm.
Day one, I'm telling you. Like, whenever that's announced, hands down, I'll order it day one. Because there's pretty much two requirements that I just need fulfilled that the current one doesn't.
Yeah.
First requirement, I need 4 Thunderbolt ports. 2 is kind of ridiculous.
Well, what do you use? You have two.
I use all
you
4
two
right now. So I use one
You have
for...
your eGPU. You have 2 displays with 2 separate Thunderbolts because those are 2
No, those
4K
aren't Thunderbolt.
monitors.
Those go through the eGPU.
Well, that makes sense. Okay, no, that makes sense. Wait, but how many are the eGPU using? Are they using 2 Thunderbolts?
So I have 4 on there, but I'm using 2 DVI, actually.
Hmm.
The eGPU uses 1 Thunderbolt then to the Mac.
That is a fast connection.
It is, yeah, it's more than enough.
That's really impressive.
I could
I thought for sure you would be using 2 Thunderbolts because I've seen dual Thunderbolt eGPUs.
No, it only needs 1.
Okay.
And then I have 1 for the NAS.
Mhm.
So that has a Thunderbolt connection to do 40 gigabit file transfers.
Nasty.
Nasty. And then 1 I run my webcam through.
Mhm.
And then the other,
Use a webcam just for Thunderbolt or with Thunderbolt.
yeah, because it's 4K. So I wanted the
I
fastest.
didn't know you use a 4K webcam.
So I wanted the fastest connection.
Oh.
So really, it's USB 3.1. And then the other, I have the dock that sits under my Mac, and that uses a Thunderbolt connection.
What is
that
the dock for?
So that the Mac sits on that, and
Yeah.
it fits the profile of the Mac Mini, and then that exposes 2 USB
Oh, to the front.
USB-Cs and like 3 USB.
Basically, it's a USB pass through.
Right. So it's like a super hub.
But it's a classy looking one because I'm assuming
Right.
it matches the Mac.
And that needs Thunderbolt because of the multiple USB-C hubs, buses, in it. So to be able to take full advantage of it.
I remember when we put together my PC, the size of the standard USB, I think they're 1.4. I can't remember what the standard USB is. And then on the motherboard, and then the size of the plugin for the USB 2.0, which is basically USB-C. Not Thunderbolt.
You're shifted a version.
I did.
So
That's
it's
what I just
3.
realized. Yes.
Yes.
2.0, the standard size.
Yeah.
Which is tiny. It's like what? I'm going to guess like 8 pins maybe.
Probably something like that.
And then
yeah.
the USB 3.0, which uses the USB-C. Is that also Thunderbolt?
No.
Or a lower level Thunderbolt? Or is it the
USB
same?
4 is going to be on par with Thunderbolt. But
Okay, that's
Thunderbolt
right.
is a spec
Which
over
I haven't seen
USB
USB
3.
4. But I just
So-
remember the huge size difference in that port on the actual motherboard because you don't see that on the front. USB is a USB. You know, everybody looks at it and they go, well, why can't that work? It's the same size, but you know, you have to have the same amount of connections. Just the size difference is phenomenal. It's very interesting.
The USB working group, or whatever they're called, actually just announced that they're coming out with yet another slew of logos so that people aren't so confused over USB cables and devices.
Well,
Did you see that?
I've always liked the color coding method, and mostly that's used for power output, deciphering how much power output something has.
Yeah, it's not.
But I've always liked
either.
that.
Yeah,
well, correct. That's no. It's
so
not.
if you see, if it's done right, if you see a black port, that's USB 2. If you see a blue port, that's USB 3. If you see a red port, that's supposed to be USB 3.1.
I thought it was mostly. Well, everybody uses it differently, but I thought it was mostly just power output.
It's speed too, but it
it
can
is
also
speed as
be
well.
power output.
Well, which makes sense. Yeah.
Because you can do up to 40 watts.
More than that. Are you talking about a 3.1?
No, 130 watts.
I know that I can run over 100 watt on 3.1.
Yes, because if it's got the PD extension of USB, right? And yeah, another confusing factor. Because that's what the superchargers or whatever, like the MacBook uses with the big bricks.
Yeah.
That was that, which is like super fast and high wattage. I can't remember though.
You know what's interesting? I'm just thinking about it right now. All the things that have switched to USB-C finally, and Apple hasn't realistically in anything. The last time we had a podcast, we have had a lot of new things. I mean, just technology-wise between us.
Oh, like purchases?
Your office setup looks completely different than what we were like. He was just talking about how he had to do new tests for the microphone. He always tests the microphone the same every time we do a podcast, and he had to redo it today because he has a brand new board that he's using, brand new software. I'm guessing that you're not brand new, but updated software and everything. And then of course you have your a network hub,
which is dead right now. So we're not using that today. But things will go on that when it's back.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got your server that you've done since the last time we talked. You're doing actual technical stuff, and I've just got headphones, VR headset.
You got the fun consumer goods though. I got kind of boring.
You buy the stuff
corporate crap.
You buy the stuff that only you can play with.
I know.
And no one else. I buy the stuff where your kids want to join in.
Well, hold on.
Because I am a child.
Let me be clear. The stuff that I bought
yeah.
benefits everybody. It's just that you don't get to play with it. So like we have a corporate grade network in this house.
You do.
Everyone
I can totally
benefits.
play with that.
Everyone benefits. It's just it's not like flashy and fun like a VR headset would be.
Correct. I thought about bringing it today, but I don't know why I didn't.
Yeah. Speaking of doing stuff and hanging out,
yeah,
I can't hang out next week.
What are you doing next week?
So next Sunday.
Why are you telling me this on a podcast?
Because it's just fun to mention.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What do you?
Sunday.
Are you advertising something now?
Myself.
Oh.
My Faja. And the boys.
What are you doing?
Are going to Grand Rapids.
This is so time consuming.
We're going to watch monster trucks.
You going to a monster truck rally?
We're going to a monster truck rally.
That is fun.
My sister Taylor.
Like an off-brand one, or I
don't know. I know nothing about it. Taylor bought the tickets, and it's for my dad's birthday.
Is Gravedigger going to be there?
Oh my gosh, I remember Gravedigger.
That's the only one that I remember.
Bigfoot was the other one, right?
Yeah, Bigfoot. Who's the guy that lives in Custer?
Is there someone that lives
Yes,
in
there's
Custer?
an actual monster truck in Custer.
I don't know.
You don't know who I'm talking about?
No.
I can't remember his name. I don't even know if they.
I want to drive a monster truck.
I went to his house once because somebody bought. He's like one of those guys too that like buys cars and just fixes them up himself and then sells them. So he's one of those guys that lives in the middle of the woods and then just has like rusted cars all over his property, just because But then in his garage, I can't remember which monster truck he is. But he was telling us too about what it takes to like transport them. Because the monster trucks that you see here are the same ones that you see overseas in Europe or in Asia or something like that when they do international trips. So they literally have to jam these monster trucks. I'm assuming they take them apart. Don't keep them whole. They at least take the They at least take the wheelbase off.
They don't like airlift them with like Chinooks and like,
No, they probably have like 2 crates but I mean, they have to, those venues that pay for them to come over the seas, they also have to pay to like ship these monster trucks.
maybe it's like adult Legos where like they tear them down and it just says like monster truck parts on the side of a shipping container.
Yeah.
And then there's a manual and they just got to like step 1.
See, I just feel like it'd be cheaper for them just to like hire John Mayer to come. It's just a dude and a guitar. Like,
Then
it's
to post the monster trucks.
way easier to ship.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's in it. I did not know we had someone local. So
I
now
don't
I
even
want to know who it is.
yeah, I can't remember. I'll look it up for you, but
I will find you.
no. What if he listens? I will.
They're talking about me.
You have a particular set of trucks. That's fun, though. That's exciting.
Anyway.
Are the boys excited? Is it a surprise for them?
Yeah, they know. I don't know if they remember. I asked
be a
them
good
like months
surprise.
ago. I said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in
This
monster
could be
trucks?"
so memorable, though.
So I just ordered them.
A monster truck.
Yeah, we're actually getting a monster truck.
Yeah.
Hopefully it fits in the garage.
Yeah.
No, ear protection. So we didn't know what would
that's
be
a good
available
idea.
there. I'm
That would
sure
be a very good
they're
idea,
gonna
yeah.
sell stuff there.
Yeah.
But I just ordered some like really nice over the ear ones so that they don't go deaf. But and I just got myself some like the pluggers.
That's really all you need.
Yeah. But
So, like, I remember when you go to, who's it I went with? Because I've always had young man's ears, although they are slightly dimming as of late.
oh, like your ability to hear.
Yeah, I went to
I wasn't sure what you
I
meant
went to
by
a
that statement.
concert with Hunter and his parents, and we had some other friends that were there. We went to see Aerosmith years ago
Oh, cool.
at the Van Andel, and I remember I've never actually been to. When I go to concerts, I go to like easy listening stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Michael Bublé is my ultimate. I would love to go see him live.
Jess just went and saw him.
I really wanted to. I know he was here. I had plans, and they were still selling tickets that day apparently because
I would go to
because
that.
of COVID. There were tons that were available at like
love
$60
Michael
a
Bublé.
pop.
He is the voice of Christmas as far as I'm concerned. I love his Christmas album.
I would agree. A lot of people say Mariah Carey, but I only think of Mariah Carey with Christmas. I think
She
of
gets
one
one
song.
She's
Michael
the song
Bublé,
of Christmas.
I think of an entire album
Yes.
when I think of Michael Bublé.
She is
Actually,
the song of Christmas.
what I hate is telling Siri that to play the best of Michael Bublé, and then what she's supposed to do is go through the Apple Music top songs list for that artist, and guess what's on there? It's just Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah.
So in July, when I just want to hear a little "Can't Buy Me Love" or "Home" or something like that, all of a sudden I've got girls singing about "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" with Michael Bublé. Like, that's always weird.
Christmas in July.
Anyways, the Vanderwalls, when we got there, they pulled out, they had like special little steel cases, like these tiny little capsule looking things, and then they twisted it open, and there were their concert earplugs. Because I've never been to, it sounds weird, but I've like all the concerts I've ever been to, I've never been to a actual rock concert before. And when they put those in and the music, I understood why they did that.
I've been to some pretty decently loud
That's not true.
concerts.
That's not true. I went to Coheed and Cambria
When'd you go to that?
a long time ago.
I
I
went
went
to
with
that.
Travis. Travis and I went to see Coheed and Cambria with a friend of ours.
What
Remember. They were awesome.
I'd be really curious to know what show you went to because I've been to their concerts. Like
Aerosmith was fun.
I've been
They
to
were-
5
they were much
Coheed
better.
concerts, I think.
You know what? I can actually find out. Do you want to know why? Out of all these years, I still have a Coheed and Cambria playlist or album, photo album.
They
still.
were one of my favorite bands.
All right, when did you go? You remember?
Let's see. I would have gone. See, I was in college, so I would have gone in like 2008.
Oh no, Brandon, we were friends.
You went
Yeah,
without me?
Brandon, I went in 2014.
I
Yeah,
would have gone. Actually, wait. I remember this conversation.
Yeah.
I think you said you were going. I'm like, dude, I would have gone.
well, you could have still went.
No, it was too short a notice.
I remember who did we go
I had
with?
stuff going on.
We were gonna like go out to eat, and one of our friends just like brought sandwiches, like
to the concert?
like nicely packed little deli sandwiches.
Like to the concert.
No, not to the concert, just in the car, because it was in Grand Rapids. It was a drive.
Oh.
And I remember he was super nice about it. And he's just like, hey, like I brought sandwiches for you guys. And like in like Tupperware containers and everything.
That's really
And
thoughtful.
I thought about it. I'm like, that, like we're in our 20s, our early 20s. So it's odd, number one. But number two, that is very thoughtful. I've never once brought sandwiches for a trip with my friends.
That seems like something like
But that's cute, though.
their mom would do for you guys.
I know but that's why it's cute, though.
Hey guys, my mom packs sandwiches. You'd be like, oh, that's nice of her.
Well, Ashley and I have a tradition where anytime we go on a trip, we bring gummies, and we alternate who is supposed to supply the gummies. It's a lot harder to surprise someone with gummies when you're married to them, but she still does it every once in a while.
It is hard. It's
Right.
hard to surprise your spouse, as they call it.
Who's they?
It's
I don't
they.
trust them.
It's really hard to surprise your spouse, especially like when you work at home,
Yeah.
like
And-
as a
and your
domestic
spouse is a
engineer
stay-at-home-
and as an engineer.
And you have a stay-at-home spouse.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, when do I have time to go out and get your stuff?
Yeah.
So Amazon helps. You could just order gummies.
Oh, we could. No, sometimes, well, we got lazy.
I know.
when
Well,
we got
you guys
married.
both work out of the house, so you could like grab it.
So we'll be like on our way to a trip and be like, oh, did you get gummies? Nah, I forgot gummies. We'll stop off and get gummies real quick.
That's the surprise.
Yeah. Still a tradition, just not as cute, you know.
I guess that's true.
But that's your life goal when you get married.
What? To get
More
gummies?
stability, less cute.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Speaking of, your anniversary is coming up, right?
Yeah, what about it?
Is it hold on.
They don't need to know.
26?
The enthusiasts do not need to know.
They would have known.
Yeah, it's the 26th.
Anyways, okay.
Ashley's birthday is 10 days before that,
I know.
and I ain't got nothing.
Don't.
I know. I got to figure it out. The problem is I looked on her Amazon wish list the other day, and it's all stuff. She hasn't updated her wish list for, I'm going to guess, over a year. And it's all stuff that's already been given to her, A. Or B, it's stuff that's very holiday specific. Like a little ceramic manger scene.
I was curious
you
what
know,
holiday, because you didn't really
stuff like that.
specify. I was thinking, because birthday,
Christmas.
October, I was thinking Halloween.
Christ Mass is the one I'm
The
that
Mass
I'm
of
referring to.
Christ.
Anyway, so I told her she needs to update her Amazon wish list, because that's the other part when you get married is that, like, I see how people would say that, quote unquote, the magic is leaving, right? And it's just because it's a lot harder to surprise. You have to work at it more. There's more work involved. You can
Mhm.
still do it, but there's work. And I appreciate it. And I love her enough to do it. That's how you can tell if your marriage is failing. You know that the more work is involved, but you don't quite love it. You say you don't have enough time. There's always time to do stuff. You just won't admit it, but you don't love them as much to do it.
Thank you for calling in to Marriage Advice with Ken Graham. Who do we have on the line? You're giving sound advice, buddy.
What's that question, sir? Yes, he has only been married for a year. Am I wrong?
Oh gosh, are you going on 2? You're going on 2 years.
I don't know. I feel like I've had enough divorce around me and people talking about it enough to know. Basically, they fell out of love, you know?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you do have to work at being in love. That's very true.
Yeah. What'd you ask before that? You
What
don't
did
remember?
I ask? Anyways, I don't remember what I was asking, but
You know, you gave me advice that has not paid out. Before I got married, you said
I got all excited. For those of you
you
not
thought
in
it
the
was
room
gonna
with
be
us,
good.
he's like, so I gave you advice. I'm sitting around my hands and go, yeah, what is it, buddy? Oh, it didn't work
yeah,
out.
you tell me. No, it's not that it didn't work out. We just don't do it as much as I think you said. So your advice was in regards to finances when you get married. Your advice was to have a lane, a financial lane that each of you have, and say, okay, we're going to be conservative with our money, you know, and all this stuff. But just so you know, honey, in this lane, I am going to spend money that I have earned.
Okay.
Right. So Joy, yours was, I think like music and stuff. You gave yourself a wide umbrella of a lane, whatever it was. It was like music or technology or something, which as I am in your office right now, I can attest. Yes, you definitely spend money in your lane. And I think Joy's was, what was Joy's?
Goodwill,
I think
probably.
it was Goodwill or something like that.
Yeah.
But the idea was in your premise that like you can spend money here. And anything else, that, you got to talk to. That comes from the company pot, Brandon, you should know. That's terrible advice. That doesn't work.
Well, okay.
So I chose video games because I'm 5, but video games are very enjoyable. They're a way to relieve stress.
They are.
There's lots of things that they do in someone's life that is to a benefit to them in forms of entertainment and just stress relief. Ashley chose furniture. She loves spending money on furniture and all this stuff. Now, here's the thing. You ready? You can still have a lane and have an understanding that this is my hobby. This is what I like to do. But doesn't mean you can just spend all the money you want in that lane. And you didn't specify that.
There should be
and now I'm thousands of dollars in debt.
Whatever.
And I own 5 Nintendo Switches. Because I quoted with Brandon. I said, he said I pick a lane. So I took 5 credit cards out.
And that's awful.
That's a joke.
No,
this is a joke, by the way.
The general idea, right?
Yeah, you have to specify this a little bit more. So the
general idea is that you should... Again, this is also assuming that you're also in a financially stable point in your marriage where
you're not in a stable marriage.
Well, in a stable marriage where you're not like terribly in debt or just on the brink of divorce. So, if you're in the neutral area, then having that thing that's yours, the lane is, I don't think I use lane. I wouldn't use that term. Just the area that's yours. Having some freedom without having to always say like, hey, can I get this? Hey, can I get that? Yeah.
Having your area of gluttony. Yes. I believe is what you call it.
Actually, that sounds like something I
would
say.
Excessive.
So there would still need to be like a threshold though. Like, hey, if you want to spend a couple $100 a month in this area, cool.
Yeah.
Do it. Like we'll budget for that. And if you don't spend it, you don't spend it. It just goes back in the pot. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like big purchases, like say soundboards or tall speakers, probably should say, hey, this is a bigger purchase. Are you cool if I get this?
Yeah.
So I asked our financial advisor, which happens to be me, and he was okay with it.
Signed off at the dotted line.
Signed off, no questions asked. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Some could say an extra 3 credit cards could be tax deductible.
Some could say.
Some could say.
Would they be right?
If you still owe the money but haven't paid it yet, did you pay the taxes? Let's be honest here. If anything, I'm saving money. I'm just saying.
Well,
you're welcome. Then you go to your wife today. And you're like, you're welcome.
You're saving the money today.
No, we found what was better for us was just setting an actual limit of anything above this price point, you just talk about it. That's it. If it's above that. Now, the big thing is I could say, let's say, so I think our financial threshold is $200. Anything more than $200, we talk about it, right? If there's a new, and realistically, I have never once not talked about anything over $100. So like video game here and there, what are they, $60 a pop?
So you count the DLC, but yeah.
And that's like the high, like brand new, just came out, not on sale, which I always buy on sale. So probably average video game buy is probably like more like $30 a game, stuff like that. And even then, if I only buy like 2 a month, that's $60 a month. The idea is though, if I wanted something, like I've had my eye on a flight stick for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen Star Wars Squadrons?
Yeah.
Flight simulator game, but in Star Wars.
Yeah.
What's cool is that game I can use my Quest 2 for virtual reality in a Star Wars flight simulator.
Really?
But you can't use your actual virtual reality controllers. They don't do anything. You still have to use like an Xbox controller or something like that. So I thought it'd be fun if I had a flight stick, then that would be cool. Then I actually have a flight controller with virtual reality with Star Wars. And there's other ones like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2. That's actually a ton of fun in virtual reality. It's very cool. So I've had my eye on this. It's under $200. I feel like I can get it according to our rules. There are now 2 rules installed that are in my favor. Number 1, that's in my video game lane. Number 2, I can easily get one for under $200, like $180. That's a really good quality one.
Yeah.
Right? I still don't feel comfortable. And the only reason why is because like I feel like to me the lane rule and the $200 rule they are not a loose rule. And it's not even, I look at it as a concrete rule. Like I need to do this or else I'm getting a divorce. Like it's not like that. To me, I see it as a sign of respect. So respect for her, respect for her finances, because respect for our finances is a respect for security in me that she has and a respect for our future. So the idea is that if I even get close to the 200, I get uncomfortable. It's like that is a threshold that I would never pass, period.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, as you are aware, being married for as long as you have, even if you don't break your quote unquote rules, it doesn't mean the other person's not going to get mad.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you still have consequences.
Yeah.
You know, but it's more just, I would feel I feel disrespectful not at least bringing it up. And if I wanted it, what's she going to say?
No.
She would say yes.
Yeah.
She would say, okay, that's fine. But like later on, it'll be like, well, you really don't have to, do you really need to pay for these other things? You bought this the other day. And she's right, So those rules of marriage, they're not loosely based.
They're general guidelines.
They're good guidelines. And if I even get close to those guardrails, it's like, I feel uncomfortable,
But that's a good thing though, because it means that you are being respectful.
Yeah.
And being aware of them.
And I want to stay married.
And that's a good goal.
That's a good goal.
That's a good goal.
I'm acting like our marriage is on the brink of divorce or something. It's not. We're very, very happy.
We'll do some counseling later. But besides,
Pastor Jerry,
we need help. Oh gosh,
that's true.
No, it's finances are always the weird one. I was reading this thread on one of the many social medias, and it was talking about like, hey, do you have joint or combined bank accounts, and why, and why you made that choice and stuff like that. And it kind of blew my mind because of the number of people, and this was people like in tech and stuff like that, like big tech, and like most replies were like, yeah, we have completely separate bank accounts. We have one joint bank account where everyone just puts the money in for the bills. And like, for me, that was really weird. But then again, we're also a single income household. So like, of course, the bank account's shared. So like,
yeah,
it's like, well, if Joy had a job, what would we do? And I honestly probably just put it in one account because it's easier.
Yeah.
But do you guys have joint, split?
Yeah, everything's joint.
Yeah.
I have a separate credit card. Only because my credit wasn't as good as hers when we started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it just made sense. And my credit has skyrocketed too, which is awesome. Well, because I actually never had a credit card before. I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of hard for you to get one because you didn't have like the past
I was scared
history.
of them.
And it's not a bad thing.
And it's only because of a certain, with being respectful, a certain history with people that are close to me. Because of that, I've just kind of learned, they always made me nervous. Now it's like, what? I'm actually making money when I use it. Mm-hmm. Just because of the points that you get and the cash back and everything. I think I have Obi. Stop.
I just got someone $100 gift card and I didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
It's so nice to be able to just do that. It's like,
and granted, my credit card isn't even the primary that we use for the bills and stuff like that. It's Ashley's, but I think in a year, I gained $600 in cash back from my Discover card. And it hit me. It's like, I've never once not had money to pay for things in recent employment. Mm-hmm. So ever since I've, for example, been working for Verizon, there's things I want that are expensive, but realistically, I've never gone in debt before for anything. Mm-hmm. So I thought about it and I go, why haven't I just had how much cash back reward just from that one thing? I could have made probably $3,000 over the last 5 years. Well, more than that, because Ashley's primary card, I'm just going by mine, which is not at all our primary card. That's for if I'm out and Ashley's not with me paying for groceries with her card, we're using mine.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know.
I think the best, it's saying something though. I think the best year we ever had was one year we had it was like $2,000 in cash back.
Well, you use the Amazon Prime card too.
Yeah.
Which it's definitely, it's not much more, but it's more reward points.
Well, now too, because if you pay for Prime, like you get 5% instead of 3% and stuff. So like, well, actually,
why wouldn't you pay for Prime at that point?
Right.
That
Especially
pays for Prime.
If you shop
way
enough,
more.
it pays for itself. Like I know Prime has gone up over the last couple of years, but for us, even with the price increases, it makes sense because of the shipping and because of the reward points we get.
Yeah.
It basically pays for itself. But
we do at Verizon, we have a credit card now. And actually, if you look up the rewards points you get for everything on the tiers, Amazon Prime is always the one that I've always looked at and like, oh boy, that's a really great card. Verizon card is literally right there. And I'm always impressed by it. But the cashback goes towards your Verizon bill. It is money directly
which
to
is fine.
Verizon.
I mean, money's money.
That's what I was going to say. So that's the main thing. If your Verizon bill, because if you used it for groceries and everything that month, if you get $50 in Prime cash, that goes towards your Prime purchases, or $50 from Verizon cash. I don't know. I'm the type of person where I'm not going to say, oh, I earned $50. I'm going to go buy things for $50 now. I'm going to go, no, I'm going to use that towards just the stuff I would normally
we pretty
buy.
much just bank it. And then when we go to like, because we have it for Amazon points, you can convert it to cash too, but we just leave it on Amazon. And pretty much we're just like, hey, we need to get something on Amazon. And then we look, oh, do we have any points? Oh, cool. Then we just don't pay for this thing. So that's where it shows up. But
well, it's like Ashley and I, we did for our Hawaii trip, big chunk of that was just cash back money we've been sitting on for years. It's just been sitting there, and it's kind of like it's always just sitting there, and you have a savings account, so it's not even a rainy day fund. It's just and we don't ever consider it a quote unquote bonus at all. So what we did was to justify, I think there were a couple things we were going to go to Hawaii anyways, but there were a couple things we wanted to do on the trip. Like we wanted to there's this cool catamaran tour that you can take and a couple other things here and there where we had a budget for our trip. And then when we thought about it, we're like, honestly, I feel like, in my opinion, that's what those are for. Because people will get, people with miles cards for airline miles. They don't use that and just use it for when they need to fly. They use it as a justification to fly somewhere. So Tess and Elliot, they use that stuff, and they'll go on trips to Europe. They just went to Iceland. And they use it for I've got the miles built up. Why don't I use it? So I told her, I said, honestly, that's what we should use our points for. If we have it, let's just use it. And we did not regret it. We had a great trip.
When we bought this house, actually, that was the year we had a ton of points, because I remember, so we're moving from our old house, the one that my dad and Renee bought from us, and we were moving here. And I remember like there was a bunch of stuff that we had to get, like it's a bigger house, some more rooms and things like that. So we needed like shelving, and like this house had 2 bathrooms. Our last one didn't. So we needed some stuff for the other bathroom. And I remember like we put an Amazon cart together, and it was like $700 or something like that. And we went to pay for it, and we had $900 in points. So we didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
And it was super nice. Plus we had money left over. So we threw a couple of things in.
Well, we only have 2 credit cards. 2 credit cards is in like besides our Discover cards. And there's the Discover cards that each of us have our own with our own credit. And then we have a Lowe's card because we've been doing a lot of home improvement stuff.
Same.
And the whole thing with that, Ashley, like she'll get really mad sometimes. We've never once we're late on a payment, but there are so many times where she forgets that we have a Lowe's card. And that we use, especially since we our projects we still have to tile the bathroom, but our project is basically almost done now. So we'll constantly forget that there's a Lowe's bill that's out there still. So when we're budgeting stuff and for the month and everything like that, we'll be like, oh, we have that Lowe's card. Oh man, I forgot all about it. That's what's weird about that. So the people, you see a lot of elderly people too that have every store credit card that exists, which if you think about it, you're always going to have more money off, whether it's percentage or cashback or whatever, by using a store card. The only exception to that is probably like groceries and gas, right? Because every credit card does a groceries and gas 4 or 5%, something like that. But, Gap gives you 5% off. Lowe's gives you 5% off with their card. So in an ideal world, you would just have a big fat wallet with a credit card for every store. And technically then and they always have reward stuff monthly and everything that you can also get. So technically you are saving the most money doing it that way. You just got a lot of credit that you're utilizing in order to get it.
Well,
that's always weird to me.
Because you have to keep track of it, right? So like for us, we have 2 Chase cards. So we have the Amazon one, and then I have a Chase Freedom card.
Mm.
And then we have a Lowe's card. And we have like a Care credit card and just a couple other oddball fringe ones too. Not, I don't know, maybe 5 total, something like that. But what I do is in my reminders app. So my whole life is run by calendar and reminders.
Yeah.
That's how my entire life is run. If I need to remember to do something, I literally say, "Hey Siri, okay, remind me to X." Siri's
Look at your
listening to me
phone.
right now, so I'm trying to be
Well,
quiet.
she's the worst.
She's looking at me. What is it? What do you want?
So she sounds like.
So yes. So I say, remind me tomorrow or in X days or whatever on this date to do stuff. So like that's how my whole life is run. So what I do with my credit cards is I have a reminder every month, like pay the Chase Prime card, pay the Chase Freedom card, check the Lowe's card, just to make sure. Because that's one thing, like I don't ever want to pay interest.
Yeah.
So I go and I just make sure there's a reminder because it takes like 10 seconds to check because everything's digital, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I set that up. I go and check it and make sure it gets paid. Sometimes it hurts more than others. So for example, Lowe's, I got a new mower and snowblower.
That would hurt.
Excuse me. All right.
Yeah, I saw that. They were like battery powered.
Yeah,
Your
I'll have to show them to you.
snowblowers.
They're cool. Yeah. I'm very excited
That's
to try that out.
interesting.
So it's one of the Egos. I'll have to show you. But what's nice, they all use the same battery.
Peter
But-
Quill's father. Mhm.
Yes. Ego. Exactly.
Mhm.
Terraforms my yard.
Keep going. What are
Anyway,
you doing? Get so distracted.
so I got a leaf blower too, but that was basically free. So with the Lowe's card, you get 5% off, or they say, would you rather have 5% or like whatever the deal is? It might be 6 month, 18 month, whatever. Sometimes it depends on the price of the thing you're buying.
Yeah.
I always pick the 5% because one, it's immediate. So you get that money off right there on the spot. And two, most of the time period that they give you for interest free doesn't really equate to 5%. So like if you were to like really break it down and say like, what if I took that money and put it in the market over that period of time? Would
Yeah.
it be more than 5%? It probably wouldn't be. So it's just easier to take it now and not worry about like weird split payments and stuff. But
Well, it's weird. What's weird to me is it seems an obvious rule of thumb, but why would you ever, unless it's an absolute emergency payment, like you've got a medical bill or something like that that you can't afford. I don't understand the idea of ever borrowing more than you can pay. Like to me, outside of the credit system and outside of rewards, there is absolutely no reason to have a credit card.
yeah, I mean, so like the mentality that we take with credit cards is that one, it's a buffer. So that is someone
That's true,
else's
too.
money.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
It is
too.
not my money that I'm spending. My money does not get spent until I pay that
Well,
bill.
technically, that's what a bank is too.
Ish.
Because your
This-
money, the only way to really do it, hate to say it, is the money in your hand. And even then, it's cash doesn't even work
Right,
that way
yeah.
either.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
But-
the dollar collapses and all this breaks anyways there.
So while my name is on the line technically with a credit card, the benefit is like, let's say my credit card gets stolen, right? If it's through an actual credit account opposed to like a bank account with a credit card associated with it, like that's the bank's problem then, like the credit issuer's problem. Like they can sort that out. But like if your debit card, which acts as a credit card, ever gets compromised, and let's say they take $5,000 out, well, you don't get that $5,000 until the bank resolves the issue. Some banks now offer like perk programs and stuff, but for the most part, you're out that money until like it gets figured out.
Yeah.
Credit card offers a really nice buffer. The other thing is that it offers a personal buffer. So like for me, it's nicer to just pay 1 or 2 bills, right, for the individual credit cards than it is to pay for individual purchases. Because when you pay for individual purchases, it's tied to your checking or savings account, which is 100% dependent on like your pay periods and things like that.
Yeah.
So there may be periods of time where like, oh, I have to move $1,000 from savings to checking, pay for the thing, and then I get paid and move that money back. This way it lets it just sit in savings and you're not moving stuff back and forth as much.
Yeah.
So
How long is this episode so far?
I don't know.
Did we even pay attention to that? Did we forget that we're podcasting again?
It says 40 minutes, but we also screwed around. a little bit.
We appreciate all of you being willing to listen to our ADD. And
It's good. We always land on it. It's a variety show. We always land on the variety aspect.
it's a very well formulated, structured. We have scripts in front of us.
Yeah,
This
we
is
actually
even-
wrote it this way.
This is a scripted show.
Even the question of how much time has been spent so far.
Listen, I already knew
Yeah.
because we rehearsed twice before this.
Oh man, but it sounds so real. Like,
Yeah, I know.
doesn't
I
sound
know.
scripted
It's
at all.
almost like we have attention deficit. Line?
It's disorder.
Our producer's gone.
He's-
He stepped out. Yeah, because normally we're on par with our script, so he
I know.
doesn't have to just stay here.
he's out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we could probably. Yeah, it's a good call. We could probably
Yeah,
wrap it
okay,
up.
everybody.
Ah!
Love you all.
It's been wonderful talking again. We will see you soon.
Have a lovely day.
That was a podcast you chose to listen to. Do you think you make good choices? Whether you do, you heard Brandon and Candy talk about things that are cool. We're feeling enthusiastic that you can be average too.
So dumb. So dumb, Brandon. Just all over.